Oh, I should save my E or not. I mean, that was a good ult.
Hello friends and welcome to my first episode of Journey to Scouting Grounds. The title of this episode says it all. I am in Diamond 5 promos. Let's get started. I've decided to main 5 specific champions and they are going to be Fiora, Camille, Jax, Aurelia, and Nautilus. For our first game of the series, I will be playing Jax. I feel like Jax is a very strong and rewarding champion to learn at the moment. He's forgiving when you're behind and very rewarding when you're ahead, as I will show you in this game right here. The game starts out rough. I always like to push for level 2 on Jax because his passive allows him to get it pretty fast. And as I go aggro for my level 2 engage, Kha'Zix comes to gank at the 2:45 minute mark and I burn flash trying to survive, but it was a poor choice because I go down anyways. I decide to TP back to lane so I don't miss any farm, therefore the wave is pushing towards him and it forces my TP. But as I am clearing out the minions and taking out the last minion, Maokai CCs me under tower and I get creep blocked in the most unlucky way and unfortunate way possible, leaving me vulnerable, and I die once again right before Kha'Zix comes in to swoop me. Later on I find the perfect opportunity to all-in him, and unfortunately during the all-in I misplay and I don't pop my ult fast enough and I fail my flash stun, allowing him to pick up another kill on me, leaving me at 0-3. And at this point in the game I am becoming a little bit frustrated. Oh yeah, really? What the... Wow, that's really... No more than a minute later, as I finish clearing out my wave, I go down to place a pink ward and I get collapsed on yet again and butt raped for my 4th death. Despite the fact that I've died 4 times, I have 100 CS in 12 minutes, so I'm not too far behind, and I finally hit level 9 and I see if I can do any damage to the Maokai. So I trade with him and all in him, but it's no use. The champion does percent HP and is building full tank, but wipes me out completely. As some of you may have already predicted, this is just one of those games where the jungler catches feelings for you and will not leave you be. Oh my... At the moment I'm feeling really shitty, so I start advertising in general chat and asking if anyone is willing to gank for me and help me out with my lane. As I begin to lose hope, Pantheon comes in and gives me some sympathy support by clearing out my tower waves, and now this may look like his gank is useless, but as I TP in, I collapse on the Maokai, who is kind of chunked, and Maokai doesn't see this coming because Pantheon has only 1 HP, so he dives right in with his ultimate and slams the Maokai right in his place, and a little bit later Kha'Zix tries to support the Maokai and we put him in his place just as well, putting me back in the game. As I sweep up the double assist, I decide it's not enough to get back in the game, so I go ahead and proxy the enemy next wave, and I don't pay attention to the Maokai spawn timer, and as I'm proxying the wave, I greed and take one of the enemy's jungle camps, so Maokai sees me do this, and he TP's in to one-shot me, building his 1 full tank items, and, well, there goes the lead that Pantheon worked so hard to get me. Regardless of me dying there, I now have enough money for Eternity Force and Mercury Treads, which are both items that really help Jax later on in the game, so I proceed to head back top, which is my domain, and I am taking the enemy tower, and then the Maokai shows up, and I am aware now that he can one-shot me, and he has a lot of potential, so I take the tower and I immediately disengage. I see Yasuo there, and I want to run as far away from him as well, and as I'm running, I see one of my good old pals. Oh, dude, that's just not okay. I go back top, and... oh wait, just kidding, this time I do not die. Pantheon decides you've had too much, I'm gonna take it in the ass for you this time. So I take the time to run as fast as I can, and then instead of go back, I want to catch up, so I go and farm mid lane, then I farm rates, and then I get flanked, and I just taken in the ass anyways by the entire team, but instead of top side, it happens in the bot lane. So it's a different position this time, ladies and gentlemen. After a respawn, I see that the enemy team is out of position, so I make the ballsy move of pinging Baron. Now, we don't want to be discovered by the enemy team, so we use the plant, but since I'm going to be arriving there late, I TP into the Baron pit, and the party begins. Oh, hi, Mocha. Now after we took the Baron and wiped out the enemy team clean, I continued to farm and then I reset and I realized that I was 2 levels up on everyone in the game, and suddenly the power of the Trojan Warriors within it took over and I got my unofficial penta kill this game, solo by the way. And that, my friends, is the story of how I became Hashinshin's second son. Kicking off game number 2, I play Nautilus. Now I know you guys think that Nautilus is probably not going to be the strongest tank right now. He's not the best. He gets outclassed by Maokai and Ornn, but he is enough to get me by, and he does do the job right in some situations until at least I learn Ornn and Maokai. They're not very high skill cap champions, but adapting from being a bruiser to a tank is really difficult for me, so it takes me a long time to learn them. Therefore, I will be sticking with Nautilus for the meantime. So as we load into game, I realize that Pokimane is on my team, and I am a little startled because I don't want to misperform this game because Pokimane gets around 10,000 views per stream, and there's a lot of people watching, and I don't want people thinking I'm bad because I have a reputation of being a poor player, so I want to try my best and fix that reputation during this game. It's kind of my chance, but at the same time, it is pretty nerve-wracking. I did not want a repeat of last game, so this game I didn't shove as hard, and instead I actually got a gank from my jungler because I was shoved in, and we got an early kill on the Camille. Getting the early gank on the Camille really impacted my lane in a positive manner because I was able to hit level 6 before her, and she didn't see that coming, so I all-ined her at level 6, but she got out with a sliver of health. Later on, I persisted in shoving, and I ended up killing her, but I went 1 for 1 as her jungler came in the nick of time and killed me as well. After I spawned, I went back to lane, and my jungler did come top a lot, but unfortunately me and him were not on the same page. He would like to come top to get orbs from the Camille, but I wanted to go in for the kill over and over because I had such an early lead and because I can tank tower for a long time. Unfortunately, since we were not on the same page, I did end up dying, and once he came again, we did end up getting a kill, but it was after a very long pursuit of undedicated tower diving, and it ended up burning my flash. And it was quite frustrating, but I had to keep the team morale high, so I just kept taking responsibility for all his mistakes. And I wanted to not be toxic this game, because I promise you guys, I'm done with that path. So after that awesome gank, I decided to go help out bot because they seemed like they were in trouble and I didn't want to lose my tower. Pokimane was there as well, but she got bored of waiting in the bot lane and she didn't want to fall behind, so she went back mid and kept on farming. But I knew something was gonna happen, and it was okay for me to stick around in the bot lane because I had TP. And eventually, when something did happen, I engaged on Vayne and I was able to kill her and get another kill, and I almost got a triple, but I slightly misplayed and went 2 ham, so I ended up falling. Again, that was absolutely worth it. So I ended up going back bot because no one wanted to cover the bot wave after that. And I did something really interesting with my TP because it was that point in the game where it was the 15-minute mark. And at the 15-minute mark, you want to use your TP because you basically get a free TP and you want a TP somewhere impactful so you can get a lead. And you want to head back bot a couple minutes later when your TP is about to spawn so you can get Baron. Or you can go for a Baron flank, but you want to push out the wave. It's a really interesting macro strategy that I came up with that I'll explain another time. But so what ended up happening is no one covered bot lane or top lane, so I decided to go bot lane, take out the entire wave, and then TP top to deny Camille from taking the top tower. So I ended up getting around 6 waves, and that got me really fed. And then we went ahead and did Rift. After I pick up Rift Herald, we decide to siege mid as 5, and as we are sieging, I am put in an awkward situation because my team is pressuring me to place the Rift right away. Now, I would like to take the time to quiz you guys. Do you guys think it's a good idea to place down the Rift right away, or is it not? The correct answer here is that placing down a rift would be a terrible idea. It wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, but it wouldn't be efficient at all, and it would actually be a noob trap. The reason why you don't want to place down the rift right away is because when you have a siege team, siege comps do not need rift to siege. So you have to save the rift for when you get an ace or when you wipe up the majority of the enemy team, then you place the rift and siege as fast as you can to see if you can end the game efficiently. So after that team fight, we end up cleaning a lot of them up, we place down the rift, and we go and snowball the game out of control and eventually end it a couple minutes later.
Smile, keep it up.
I hope so. Sometimes relationship stuff, especially when you're young, it just seems like it means so much. It really doesn't mean shit. Like, it really doesn't mean shit. It's really, like, just so unimportant in the grand scheme of things. That's not what's nice.
So after ending the game, Pokimane decides to honor me. She also calls me nice, which feels really good because, I mean, it's a sign that I'm improving and that I'm actually reforming if other players enjoy playing with me. And so far, I am 2-0 in my promos to Diamond 5, and I'm pretty hyped to get back into Diamond Elo. So yeah, let's move on to game number 3. So for my third game, I want to go with my most comfortable pick because I want to get these promos over with, and I feel very confident on Irelia, as you guys probably know. So I decide to go Spellbook this game on Irelia because Irelia does really well with Spellbook into matchups that she dominates or matchups that she goes even in. The only times Irelia struggles is against hardcore tanks like Malphite, but against champions like Camille, Vlad, Riven, Kled, champions that I really goes even with or beats, Spellbook is very impactful because it can help you snowball the game, therefore you don't need the extra damage from precision. I take Barrier Ignite on Irelia, it's just one of those things that I do, and it puts my Barrier Ignite on around a 1 minute to 2 minute cooldown, and then I get a really strong early game lead, and then I switch to Flash TP as the game progresses. I help out my team that way and I do TP flanks, and I switch back to Barrier, Flash, or whatever the situation requires at the time. So it's just a really unique thing I do with Irelia. 3 minutes into the game, the Kled makes a mistake and I'm quick to capitalize on it. He goes in tower range to hit level 4 and I'm able to get free damage on him because there's not many minions supporting him. Therefore, minion aggro doesn't mean much, and if he was to damage me back, he would take tower aggro. So I was quick to dismount him, which later on led to me all-inning him because I have Barrier Ignite and I can kill him before he can remount. As I wipe the floor with this Kled, I do not look at my minimap, which was a rookie move by me, so I don't pay attention that the mid lane and the jungler are MIA, and they come top lane and give me a good time. Ooh, okay. Almost. He's so bad. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Interesting. So as you can see, the Barrier Ignite is really paying off for me this game, but as I progress later on into the game, I realized I have to start split pushing bot because top lane objectives have to be taken, such as Baron and Rift Herald, so I switch to Flash TP after that, and I head bot lane, and every time my team gets into a fight, I simply TP in because it's on a 3-minute cooldown instead of a 5-minute cooldown. Oh my. So as you can see, I went full Trojan Warrior on these kids, and I had no mercy. Every single time my TP was up, I slaughtered everyone in my way, and I eventually carried the game, making me go 3-0 in my promos to Diamond 5. I'm quite happy, and that's it for this episode. Although it is preseason, I am still trying my best, and I am trying to improve at the game so I can be ready for next season, so I can give you guys the content that you're looking for, because I really don't want to disappoint any of you, and I know that a lot of people believe in me, and I really appreciate all the positive feedback I received from the people that I received it from. Like, it means a lot to me, and I just can't let you guys down. So thanks so much for bearing with me, and I'll see you guys in episode number 2.